And tonight they'll be cutting a rug, so a lot of other reunion nights. I guess the word is. Ryan and friends are playing tomorrow night, so be sure to check that out. Also, from the kitchen here at Cat Fiddle, not only do we have the Fish Fry Friday, but there are new specials starting today, and one of them is Gobsmacker, the Fiddle Sticks, which are yummy inside and out, so be sure to ask for them by name. Now, this is my Ricky Gervais show. This is my last show for the foreseeable future. Yeah, until then, I don't care.
So cheers.
Full heart.
God.
So, when we have the musicians come on, the musicians are going to laugh, and then they're going to have a song. They're going to thank their listeners. They're going to thank the producer. They'll probably end up thanking us, and then they're going to go out in the wild. So, I don't care. And that's my take on it, because this is my last show, and I could go on. But, no, it's fine.
Are you retiring?
Not retiring, just going on being demoted. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Can you do that on radio?
Yes, we're online.
Speaking of, yes, we are not controlled by the CRTC. I was going to say something else. But speaking of poop, did you know, found this out the other day, now a lot of people take their cell phones to the lavatory, right? So there's already problems there with the phone being in the lavatory while you're there. But while you're there, and if you're there for a prolonged time, there's a good chance you might get hemorrhoids.
Oh, do we have to go there?
Well, this is a public service announcement.
This is Friday.
This is a public service announcement because, people got to know.
Well,
Nobody wants to be a pain in the ass. Oh, get this, Daryl Hall had to quit his concert. They said it was mid-performance. He did 3 songs and walked off.
Really?
Yeah, he was sick.
That's consummate
Sickly.
professional.
He was playing in Vancouver. Yeah. Like, why show up if you're going to do 3 songs? And he probably sound like crap.
Okay,
Anyway,
be nice.
well,
I don't want
still.
to get any hate mail.
Some guy who doesn't sound like crap is Sebastian Bach, lead singer of Skid Row. He's going to be taking his tour out to North America, starting in Kelowna
And
in
is
the
he
fall.
Canadian?
Sebastian Bach, yes.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Yes,
I didn't know and learned.
yes, yes, that's what I mentioned.
Cool.
Now,
He was on my favorite show, the Gilmore Girls, for a little while. Just saying.
okay.
I'm talking back. I'm going back now.
Well, he did a run as Phantom of the Opera.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah, he was the Phantom in the opera. And I remember watching an interview with him. It was the new music on City TV. And they kept poking at him about Skid Row. And he just got up and says, you know what? I'm on friggin' Broadway, man.
So
Takes off the mic, walks off.
how come we don't have his songs on air then?
Because they're not, Skid Row's not Canadian. Only he
That's
is.
what I just asked. Only he is.
He is.
So he is.
Yeah.
We play hard.
He's a
We
big
play
guy.
others that are Canadian.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Of note, there was going to be a Hulk Hogan biopic. Believe it or not.
but he's not Canadian.
No, but still.
So why are we talking
This is
about him?
entertainment news, and entertainment news is like worse than real life.
Yeah.
Okay? Because of the stuff they get. Like, they were going to have Chris Helmsworth play Hulk Hogan. Huh? And this is the guy who directed Joker. He was looking at it, but it got trashed, thankfully. New
Wow.
movie from Francis Ford Coppola, Megalopolis. The movie hasn't been released yet. There are trailers for this movie, and yet there are critiques saying the movie is superb.
Okay.
The movie house, oops, sorry. I guess you're getting ahead of yourself. He's still riding Apocalypse Now.
So how come we're not talking about comics? Something you really, really don't
Well,
know.
no one wants to hear about Batman, Superman, Spider-Man.
Oh, I bet there is. Mm-hmm.
But I could, but it'll be boring. It'll be just as boring. Like,
You would-
entertainment news, like I said, this is more than real life. This,
Yeah, I know,
this
but
is
I'd
real
rather
life
see
comic
it.
books. There's this French actor who died recently. Get this. This is borderline, what's the call here? Alain Delon. He died. He's a French actor. His final wish was to be buried with his dog. He died before his dog.
Okay.
And it was in his will to put down the dog in order to stuff him in the casket so he can go in the ground. The dog is now 10 years old. It's a Belgian Shepherd.
Okay.
Probably a gorgeous dog. 10 years old, and the family said no. Even the Brigitte Bardot Foundation got involved. And it's like, what's going on with this dog? Oh no, he's happy. He's alive. He's on this side of the turf. Good stuff. Good stuff. And we got great stuff coming up on the show here at Cat Fiddle. Shake it up. CatTunes.ca. Important stuff.
This is important stuff, what's going on right here, right now. And it's opening.
All
Now,
the
you know
time.
why you're being demoted.
I
Sorry.
don't. Yeah. So later on in the show, we have Ricky's Garage. Pardon me. I think I'll go say. And coming up in just a few short steps, we have Robin Magder John Welton. Thank you ever so for joining us.
All right.
So excited.
This I can. No. Welcome once again to the show, Robin. You're working on your green jacket
Yeah,
with multiple appearances,
that's right,
which is great.
of course.
Always nice to have you on the show, always, all the time, because you're such a rocker in this town. And the one thing I like, especially with you and your music, you can write about anything and or take anything and make a song out of it.
Even
Right?
my birthday.
That's right.
Really?
Try. Yeah.
See? So, for example, what is probably the most fun you've had writing a song?
I'll tell you, I just did a ravioli jingle, and that was fun. It was a little jingle about ravioli, about pasta. And John's the temporary CEO right now of Ontario Ravioli.
So Tom Wilson didn't voice
No,
over the.
Tom Schwann. Tom Schwann. He gave me some free samples. I swear to God, he gave me some free samples, and I said, "That's delicious." I said, "You know what? I'm going to write a jingle." And as a joke, he said, "Oh yeah, go ahead." So I actually did, and then all the Ontario Ravioli people like it, so we recorded that jingle.
That's awesome.
It'll be on the radio very shortly.
See?
Yeah,
You
nice.
know what you'll sing about? Yeah. Good stuff.
Perfect. So you, as we mentioned before we started the show, you opened up for It's Your Birthday. Sound of Music,
Mhm.
Burlington. There is a festival. That must have been exciting.
You know what? It was very exciting. It was just a regular, fill out a form and send them some stuff to try to get on the main stage at that festival. And then you get an email with like less than a week's notice. Okay, you're going to the Battle of the Bands, 2 other bands. So we just went and did our 3 songs, and we won ourselves the opening slot on the Saturday, and it was awesome.
I'm trying to remember, last time you were on the show, you were leading into that
Going there.
performance, right?
Yeah,
So now you're on the other side.
right.
So as you said, it was amazing. You had the crowd, you had like
Oh,
all the amenities. You were a true rock star.
It was a really high-end festival there for, the stage that we were able to play at. So it was really pretty exciting, very, very fun. We had a lot of our friends came, and we were, shocked to see so many of our pals came, and they all had our T-shirt on. So that was like really extra special. It was a great day.
Were
Great
you able
day.
to hobnob with anyone?
No, we saw Kim Mitchell, and he gave us the snuff us. Yeah, Kim Mitchell. Yeah. Yeah, and
Maybe
then
he
he
was
got
on
into his
vacation.
BMW, and it all made sense. I said, "See you later."
Really?
Yes,
That happened to me with Carol Snow once. Yeah.
did it?
Yeah.
See, it's such a letdown. It's such a letdown. 'Cause
Yeah, it is.
You meet some, and they're so friendly and so nice and happy to meet you. Like my beloved Tommy Stinson, very friendly, really personable. And then you get somebody like, I just said, "Hey, we're so excited to open for you," and you just couldn't wait to get away.
Wow. That's
I
disappointing.
have that effect on men. I won't lie, but still, you ran for it.
Too much. Now you have a recent new addition, or your most recent new addition, has quite a history. Quite a history on this man.
Oh, absolutely, John. Yes.
He's a dad. He's not only a dad, but he's a dad, and he's a rocker.
Yeah.
And he's one of the biggest, probably the most part of the band that was a very seminal part of Canadian punk, if not the punk movement, if I may say so.
Oh, 100%.
So
I mean, Lou Molinaro named the bar after
That album.
the record that John plays on. Is in Hollywood.
So when you said you started playing bass at 10, is that right?
10 a.m.
10 years old. 10 p.m. Well, that's on a work night, yes.
Fairly early. Yeah. Piano first. I
Right.
hated my parents for making me take piano lessons, and thank them ever so much now for making me take piano lessons. Because without that background, it's tough to play. And to be a good player, to be able to play with people like Robin and the Forgotten Rebels and Frankie Venom, you need to know how to play your instruments. So it was great.
Just gonna have to tuck in the microphone just a little.
Okay.
Thank you. So with piano, was that, because that in music theory was the thing that really screwed me over. I just couldn't get my head around it. Now, do you have that, obviously, that aspect of the music with the keys and the chords and the theories?
A very basic root understanding, which lets you know when somebody says we're going to play a 12-bar blues song, you know where the chords or the next one's going to be. But beneficial when you're writing songs as well, understanding different types of progressions, minor chords, major chords, seventh chords. So that root knowledge. I will have to admit, though, that my worst mark at university was in music.
Mine was in 13, yeah, believe it or not. Same with, I wrote commercials and I had a 50% English, same thing. So I know. Perfect. So I was going to lead up to something else. So with your writing then, that's what I was going to say. Do you let the bass lead or are you scribbling first?
I actually write most of my songs on 6-string guitar. Acoustic, I start with acoustic, then move to electric, then write a bass line over top. But the most important part is I've been able to play with, and I've been blessed to play with, 3 of Hamilton's most prolific songwriters. Mickey DeSantis, Frankie Venom, and Robin Magder. And when you have talent like that beside you, it amplifies your ability and makes it a hoot. And quite frankly, some of the songs that I've been involved with, I look back at and look now to and say, wow, these songs are great. And whether they get commercial recognition or not. And, in the Forgotten Rebels, we knew we were not going to make it on the radio. It wasn't happening. But the songs were great. And we had a ton of fun doing it.
I'm sure. And we'll touch on that.
Yeah.
Very good. But first, I'd like to have you both do one of your songs. If you can, please.
Of course.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're at the Cat Fiddle. You're listening to Shake It Up on CanuckTunes.ca. Here is half of Rocket and the Renegades.
Rocket one Renegade. books. Dream city and it ain't no lie. No, like that, and they're going out. Gonna rock and roll. Going out. Gonna rock and roll. When you're falling out, you're gonna rock and
Robin Magder John Welton from Rocket the Renegades. An old standby of yours.
Yeah, that's my family.
You guys been together, well, Rocket and the Renegades have been together since 2016.
Yes.
That's a long time.
Yeah, 2016.
Long time for me.
I've been duking it out with Rick since 2016.
That's right,
Rick
Chris.
is the lone survivor.
Yes.
I know, God help him. Yeah, but you know, ever since John joined the band, that's when the sound just clicked. You know,
A lot of
Sound
people
just
said
clicked.
that.
Although I've had great players, you know,
Yeah.
everybody's been great in their own, you know, space. But as far as the personalities all clicking and looking, we're all in the same, looking toward the same thing.
Yeah. No, I haven't heard Rick like wail as much as he has,
Yeah.
and that's probably because the three of you just, well, with rhythm,
Mhm.
not to exclude the drummer, but to play off each other, and with Rick being super talented, you know, with the lead guitar chores. It
You know,
does.
Rick was never a lead guitar player until we got together. He was always rhythm because he was always the singer in all the bands I was in. Rick in the 3Ds, and he was the singer. And then
Right.
when he joined this band, he like had to literally start playing lead guitar. He never played lead. He had other guys that played lead. So he's like really gone
He's amped it up.
damn good.
Yes.
Oh yeah, over time. Like he had to challenge himself. That wasn't his, you know, his thing. That wasn't his thing. He was, you know, a rhythm guy. So now he's the lead guy, and also made me a way better singer because I couldn't harmonize. I didn't do any of that before
That's
I
the sign of
met
a good
Rick.
well-gelled band, isn't it? You
Yeah,
all work off
everybody's
each other.
bringing
You-
something to the table.
Yeah, and
Right.
you work to elevate each other.
Exactly.
You know, like
Yes, yes.
I remember a clip I saw of Red Hot Chili Peppers Squeeze. Like, I don't know what album it was, but we're still playing music, we're still learning, and we're still loving it. You know,
Yeah.
free to say that.
Yeah, of
Still
course.
learning.
Yeah, you gotta expand, you know?
Well, with this group, we have a group of people, feels very comfortable, and we're pretty tight, which makes a big difference when we go out and play. And we don't need to look around and worry about what's going on because people like Rick and Derek are just fabulous players. And so you stand there with full confidence that it's going to sound great, which is nice.
And with, again, with your background, with where you've been, with the bands you've been part of, that's key, is to have the tightness, you know?
Speaking of, let me just say, there's so many great forgotten Rebel stories. Like, tell the story of how Dave McGee became the drummer of these Forgotten Rebels. Because Dave McGee was my friend back in the day, you know, in the Rebels days. So yeah, just because I like the story.
So one of the first times we were playing across the border at the Continental Club in Buffalo, New York, which is a fabulous, fabulous place. Still remember the address, 212 Franklin Street. It's now a parking lot for the
Oh.
Curtis Hotel. Anyway, so Dave tagged along. He was going to be our roadie for the night. And we get to the border, and our drummer at the time, Rob Allen, who's still a player around Hamilton, couldn't get across the border because he had a minor drug charge from the early 70s or something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
okay.
So we said, "See you later, Rob," and we carried on. And Dave said, "Well, I know how to drum." I said, "Yeah, we know you know how to drum." And so we played 2 sets at the Continental. Our first set started at 1:00 in the morning, which is like wow. And Dave was so good. We said, "Sorry about your luck, Rob. Dave's in, you're out."
Yeah. Pete Best got nothing on him.
But
Real good.
yeah, so unfortunately for Rob, but fortunately for us, that worked out.
And you were with the Rebels from, as you mentioned, 79 to 84, 85?
84, 85, right. I played in a couple of small bands, and I remember we played, there was a club out in Burlington on Plains Road called Benji's. It's an adult club today.
Oh, okay, I thought that sounded familiar.
And they used to have bands, but you could only book in there if you were willing to play 6 nights, Monday through Sunday. Three 1-hour sets. So my band was called The Intentions, and myself, Jeremy Butler, Jim Cottringer, and Mike Mirabella, who became the guitar player in the Forgotten Rebels. We did 6 nights, 3 sets a night, and Mickey DeSatis came out every night to watch us play. It was just there every day. It was like Tuesday and Wednesday was the only person there watching us play. And then we finished that run, and a couple of weeks later, I saw the Rebels at the Treetop in Burlington. It's Emma's back porch above there. And In Love with the System, their album had just come out. And we were chatting, and Mickey, I said, what the hell were you doing in Burlington watching us play 6 nights in a row? He goes, I had nothing else to do. So a couple weeks later, I'm at my then girlfriend's house in Brampton, sitting there eating dinner with her parents, and the phone rings, and her dad's mad. The phone's ringing when it's supper time, and it's like, and he answers the phone, and he looks at me and goes, it's for you. Who the hell knows I'm here in Brampton? Hi, John, it's Mickey. We need a bass player. Can you play tomorrow night? I said, sure, let's go. So 2 days later, I'm out of The Intentions and in the Forgotten Rebels.
Wow.
And we started rehearsing for recording this thing.
So out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, we had a guitar player change, a drummer change, and then we went in the studio and did this St. Hollywood with Bob Bryden, another great. Bob's from Oshawa, but a Hamiltonian now. Fabulous producer, helped us out on that with Star Records being the record company at the time. Yeah, so it was fabulous.
Wow. Now because you were also with Blue Angel with Frankie, correct?
Yeah.
Frankie Venom. And there was another band that caught my interest, Moon Crickets.
That's right. The Moon Crickets. I'm not. There was just a bunch of players, and we started just playing. And a fellow by the name of Andy something wanted to put together a record of Hamilton bands, and it was the first of a few called Music from the Armpit of Canada. And so we put together this band, and we actually did a cover of a song called Making Time. It was by an Australian punk band at the time. So we gigged around. It was kind of a part-time little gig for us. At the same time, I was actually playing a side show with Nick Stepanitz.
Oh, wow.
Teenage Head's original drummer and songwriter. And Nick and I played with a fellow by the name of Johnny Valentine at Hamiltonian. And we played a few gigs. The band's name, we had to stop playing because the band name wouldn't fit on a poster. It was Johnny Opossum and the Upside Down Tail Hanging Band. You can't get it on a marquee.
No, or a T-shirt.
So yeah, that was a fun time. And then when I retired from the Forgotten Rebels, artistic differences, Frank had pretty much just left Teenage Head, and we had been buddies for a long time because we all grew up together and went to high school together. And he said, "Let's play," and I said, "Let's play." So we did that, and we did a recording on King Kong Records, which was owned by Rick Andrews of the Shakers and Dan Quinlan. And we did a 5-song CD.
You can come back.
that that I'm really proud of. It was
No kidding.
yeah, very very quality recording. We did some work down at Grant Avenue, as well as Metalworks in Mississauga. We recorded that.
There was something I read too, like, I've never seen anything, a combo single, because you did a B-side to a Sex Pistols. The Rebels did. Apparently. Yeah, Forgotten Rebels did a combo single with the Sex Pistols. So on one side it was the Sex Pistols, and then you flip the 45 over, and it was the Forgotten Rebels. I read that, and
I'm kind of wondering where my royalties are.
Yeah, exactly.
from the UK yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
no, good, you're right.
You know, at the time when This Ain't Hollywood came out, it was a big hit on American college radio. In fact, UCLA radio had "Surfing on Heroin" as their #1 song for almost a year on college radio.
Yeah.
And a friend came back from England. One night he was at the Hippodrome in London. So I walked into the Hippodrome. The first song I heard was "Surfing on Heroin."
Wow.
And the Hippodrome was a huge club in
Yeah.
London back in the day. So we, without the commercial powers to be, we were still quite popular. And that got us a tour with the Clash. And that was in, I think, '83. We toured with the Clash. And of course, we played with the Ramones a bunch of times. And yeah, it was a great time.
Let's play now, shall we? After all this gabbing. So John Welton, Robin Magder from Rocket and the Renegades, live on GetUpTunes.ca. You're listening to Shake It Up from Cat Fiddle.
All right, I'm gonna do a song I wrote about my good friend Randy Steele. And, you know, of all the songs I've written, and some come and go from the sets, this one always stays in the sets. And this is the first one that John recorded with us on. And he actually did keyboard and bass, double duty on that one, which was very cool. We did it with Danny Z, Blue Tilt, right here, the street.
It's been one more year.
Yes, he was. I remember.
Great Hamiltonian.
He got around. Like you went to school with him? Was that the association?
I went to school with him. We grew up in the same neighborhood, and you know, he was the first guy that he put on the Teenage Head shows. Teenage Head was our favorite band, and he was one of the first who had steel core productions. And he put, you know how the Garys back in the day put on shows? He put on shows. He brought the Flame of Rubies here. I always say he was before Lou Molinaro was Lou Molinaro. There was Randy Steele. He brought them here. And because, you know, we have a cool contingent of fans for them, but, you know, they had to get here.
I didn't realize that. I knew he was a CH personality, man, but the thing, but I didn't realize that much.
Yeah, he became, you know, into the reporter, but he always loved rock and roll and was a musician himself, too.
That right.
Player, yeah.
That I went through, yes. Perfect. Now, with your Rocket the Renegade, is it, with your touring now, based on what you've gone through, respectively, is it easier now? Is it more of a challenge now? Is it, like, is it still as much of a chore to come up with new material as it was then?
No, I got material. I've got material for days. I do. I really do.
Robin writes a song a day.
Not quite, but I can do quite a few sometimes. You know. I'm writing one right now about John, but I can't divulge any of it. I don't have it finished. But I got to tell you this on the first break. But you know, it's hard. It's hard to get gigs. It's hard. I feel like Hamilton never, you know, gets behind us sometimes. I'm happy to be here, and that's why I come here, because I said these guys actually play our stuff and support it. And I appreciate that. But it doesn't happen in most things. I know it feels sometimes like no matter what I do, like even we get it, you know, we went that, you know, battle of the bands, and it's still got a side stage at a festival in the pouring rain, no lights. We were squished up together because it was all water. I mean, they couldn't help the rain, but the stage was like we had previously had a bigger stage. So that was a bit of a, you know,
right.
And you know, I don't know what more you really have to do.
It's like taking one step forward and taking three back.
That's exactly what happened.
Right.
So, and then CMC TV, we got on this TV show, goes across Canada. It's a Portuguese television station, but they look for artists all over that do their original music. So we get on that 2 years ago. It's one of the first things we did with John, like hilarious, right? But I know, it's like hilarious. Nobody speaks English, by the way. Like they do at the TV show, but they invite us to a festival. Last year we go. And the minute you start unrolling the windows to hear like the hubbub of the festival, there's no English. Because it's a Portuguese festival and they're Portuguese station. So that was, but they loved us. But we had an awesome time. So now we're back again. And they're running this Taste of Brampton, which is like restaurants and cool music.
That's right. Yeah.
And like Madison Galloway, there's a few cool people on there who are also on the TV show. So like for that, we're getting a main stage. For Sound of Music, we got a main stage. So I will keep trying to get myself, you know, I've never played Festival of Friends all these years. Never got a Festival of Friends.
Wow.
No, I know. That's shocking. It's an outrage.
Well, then branching are there other upcoming dates?
You know what? We've got great dates coming up. We're playing on the 22nd at the Moonshine. We're doing, which is in Oakville.
Nice.
No. Bring you a Grey Poupon. Yes, it's very fancy there. No, it's a cool little spot that they love original music there. And we're there on a matinee, so that's 3 to 6. Then the 28th, we're back at the Shed Brewery in Dundas, where I cut my teeth back in the early years. So we go there once in a while on a Thursday night. And then, you know, October 4th, we're doing an 8-hour concert at the Hamilton Public Library. And John says, hey, that sounds wild. He says, I haven't done wild stuff like that since
I have
the
my
80s.
library cards.
No, this guy, him and I go for it. That's what's fun. He goes to Burlington, I go Hamilton, but we like our library. But believe it or not, I find that a prestigious thing because they booked me during Culture Week so that I'll sing my songs about Hamilton and Hamilton people. And so that makes me like really proud. You know, my dad, his artwork hangs at the YMCA and it hangs at the Hamilton Farmers Market. So I feel like he'll be like, good for you.
Yeah.
Watching down there. Yeah.
But having said all of that, there's still beautiful places to play in Hamilton, like where we are today. And you know, the Cat and Fiddle here, bands every Friday, Saturday night. The owners just told me they're booked solid till the new year.
They are, yes.
That's great to see. So obviously people are coming out to see live entertainment, original entertainment, and it's very encouraging. Very
It is.
encouraging.
By all means, and I consider Hamilton the hub of the universe as far as music is concerned, because the
It's,
city's so active
it
in
is.
so many levels.
And there's so many, you can just spit and you run into somebody who plays music and is good. Like there's a
Right.
lot of quality around.
That's the thing, just the quality of people and what they play and how they play it. It's just like, wow, like, I'm glad you're in this town, buddy.
Mhm.
Let's get into another song. Shall we?
All right.
Please.
Now, this is one of my earlier tunes, but it's called 6 Weeks on the Road, about what it's like if you dare to date a musician. God help it all. 6 weeks on the road, my baby's gone away. 6 weeks on the road, too long for me to be alive. 6 weeks on the road, it's back, ain't coming back. He's surrounded by rivers and white honey. Oh, he'll be up late every night. And I'll be home just practicing my chords. Wondering how ever let it go. 6 weeks on the road, my baby's gone away. 6 weeks on the road, too long for me to be alive. 6 weeks on the road, it's back, ain't coming back. I'll be singing those duets by myself. There's tears in my coffee cup, and I count the days on my calendar until he's back in my arms. 6 weeks on the road, my baby's gone away. 6 weeks on the road, and I'm feeling alive. 6 weeks on the road, it's back, ain't coming back. Taking my bed, but I know it will return. And I hold me down. Come on, Elsie. It's my thing, and I'll ever do fine. 6 weeks on the road, my baby's gone away. 6 weeks on the road, too long for me to be alive. 6 weeks on the road, it's back, ain't coming back. Oh, now, 6 weeks on the road, my baby is gone away. 6 weeks on the road, that's too damn long for me to be alone. 6 weeks on the road, it's back, ain't coming back. Ain't coming back.
Robin Magder John Welton, both from Rocket and the Renegades, are joining us on Shake It Up, live from the Cat Fiddle, John Street South at Augusta, Hamilton's own pub. I don't hear too many people talk about the recording process when they speak with artists. Is it a piece by piece type of recording? Is it a live off the floor? You got a bunch of people banging away at once, and then you sort of pick away at the finer details? Or?
Well, first thing we do is rehearse our ass off.
True.
and make sure we know what
Time
we're
is
doing when
money,
we walk
Gary.
in.
Yes.
But as we talked about before, we're tight enough that we go in,
Yeah.
we play off the floor, and generally in 2 or 3 takes, that's done. Add a couple more guitars, add a couple more vocal tracks, and I'm fortunate enough to play some keyboard on some of the songs too. So we usually add that in last to fill it out.
Right, so respectively, again, each member gets to spread their wings kind of thing and contribute with their talent, their
Rick
spark.
and Derek are great with the ears, like they can hear, I don't really, and I don't have the patience, so when I come, even to do the vocals, like I'll warm up on my way there or before, so, because I don't want to be there for 3 hours. To me, that's like a torture, because by about the 3rd time through, I'm singing already. I think, God, how many more times can I sing the same? You know what I mean? And really, if you're into it over that many takes, you're going to start every time a little bit of a mess here, a little bit of a mess. It just starts to fall apart.
The first 2 songs I recorded with Rocket and the Renegades, I never saw Robin. She wasn't in the studio. I was like, hey,
I said,
how does
Rick.
this work?
Yeah, well, that's a small studio too. But Rick, yeah, because Rick does all that sort of.
So what studio was that, sorry?
Blue Tilt, that's
Blue Tilt
Danny
on
Z.
Hess.
Blue Tilt on Hess, yes.
Nice.
He's been responsible for all of your albums, has he not?
He's done all so far. Except our Macaroni Madness. John and I did that at Studio 410. That was interesting.
Yeah, that's.
Because I'd never been there. And I felt like quite the rock star in there. Yeah, because I liked the setup. I liked the way they had like a full stage. It was all blacked out. It just felt very conducive to playing.
Performing, yeah.
Mhm.
They rent that space out as well to like touring bands, stuff like that.
Rehearsal place.
That's right.
Yeah. No, with the genres, is there a, because punk, you can deal with ska, punk, this kind of.
Right.
Is there tough to nail down. Is there a genre that you are more lean toward, or is there a musical sort of phrasing or melody that you work on certain songs or certain approaches to songs than others?
That's
Do you understand
funny.
where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
That's a stupid question.
Sometimes I like to have the riff first. If you can have the riff first, then you can really come up with something.
And surround
And
everything.
then come up with something after that. But I also like kind of like to have a little bit of a deadline. That's why I like it. Like I'll write a birthday song, or I'll do like there's a band called the Blood Roses. Have you heard of them? They're young
Yes.
at 50. Sweet young things at 50.
Yes, I
And
know.
they're sort of like people I know just through Facebook rock and roll. And so she invited me in the summer to go sing at her boyfriend's barbecue. And he's the manager and lead guy of her band. And it was hilarious. So I actually wrote him a birthday song called, his name's Filthy Rich. I said, Filthy Rich is a rocker, right? And that was the song. So I like to have the deadline, right? If we just open-ended, anytime you can write a song, then I'll never do it. But if you tell me like, well, your birthday's next Tuesday, I'm like, oh man, I gotta get working, it makes me do it.
Can I ask you to work again? Oh, go ahead.
You asked Robin earlier about writing a song and having fun. Last year, we were lucky enough to spend a weekend at Robin's family cottage. And we finalized one of our latest songs, Tommy's Wearing My T-Shirt, out on the dock in sunshine, boats going by,
Yeah.
geese
Yeah,
quacking in the background.
because it took us a long time to get a good arrangement for that song. See, that's what's fun about being in like a full band, is that I can write a very simple song because I literally have no musical, I have no musical training. I play by ear. I don't know very much and lazy to learn. I'm sorry. So what happens? I'm writing all around these same things, but somebody has to elevate them. Otherwise, you're like, a lot of these sound the same, right? Because they do. John Prine has that too, where you're like, oh, you start to start John Prine song you're listening to, and you go, hey, is this Grandpa was a carpenter? Like, oh, this is, because a lot of them, you like the G chord, right? So
Okay, yeah.
end up with the same thing. So
I remember back in the day when I went to see Rob Zombie. I think it was White Zombie and the Ramones opened up.
I saw it. I was there.
Yeah.
Rancid was in the audience. Did you see see that.
No.
You know how I knew?
Uh,
I see, that was back when he had the wicked, what do you call that? The wicked mohawk that stuck straight up. And they were very, very hardcore. It was, I remember it completely. And I said, those guys aren't from Hamilton, because I was in the balcony and I looked down and they were in the pit, like on the floor seats. And I said, who are they? And then I found out they opened for Rancid. Or Rancid opened for the Ramones the
That's
next
too
night.
much. That's hilarious. Oh, you're on the Supergirl too.
Oh, we forgot. Oh my
Oh,
God.
Supergirl.
This
That's
is
not
grand
very good.
spanking. You know what happened?
Perfect.
Yes, Lydia helped us secure a little spot at the tent with Grand Avenue Studio, because what happened was in May, I had the good fortune, I volunteered with Tourism of Hamilton during Open Doors Hamilton, and I picked Grand Avenue as my place, and let me tell you something, I had more fun that afternoon than anybody there. And I really connected with the new owners of Grand Avenue, so, you know, who knows, maybe we'll record there in the future, you never know. For half an hour, because guess who else didn't get booked for Super Crawl? Just like the Festival of Friends, kids. This is the way this Hamilton business works.
Yeah,
So,
no kidding.
yeah, sometimes you just kick you in the head. But you know what? I'm proud to play. And I noticed Mulberry has their own little place, the Mulberry Cafe. Like a lot of offshoots of businesses bring in bands and do the same thing to, you know, the little guys.
So we have time for one more song.
Yeah. Let's have you do one more song if we can,
I'm
please.
not ready. What song am I gonna do, John? I have no idea. It's a complete off the shelf floor.
Okay.
That'd be tough.
Tommy's t-shirt.
Oh, Tommy, but you know what? I think for Timber, they can't really so that'll be nice. Let's do rock and roll like that. I think we'll do rock and roll like that, which is another song I wrote about,
Rock and roll.
not being picked for something that, you know, they were picking all the girl singers in Hamilton, and they picked everybody. They were like stopping like cleaning women and saying, I heard you humming, would you be on this gig? But they never did ask me, so that's what made this song come about.
They're lost.
That's right, Kimberly. I love it. I didn't make the cut, didn't make your list. Yeah, well, I'll take that for what it is. And now there ain't no hope in my country. 'Cause what you get is what you see. Rock and roll ain't dead. Rock and roll ain't dead. Rock and roll ain't dead. It's in my heart, it's in my head. In my heart, in my head. It's in my heart, it's in my head, in my head, in my head. Rock and roll ain't dead. Whoops. Yeah, I love to read, I love the Rolling Stones. I raise my kids on Rancid, skull and crossbones. And this good girl ain't gotta go back. 'Cause I'm a rocker and a rebel and I always have. 'Cause rock and roll ain't dead. Rock and roll ain't dead. Rock and roll ain't dead. It's in my heart, it's in my head. In my heart, in my head. In my heart, it's in my head, in my head, in my head. Rock and roll ain't dead. I know the sound of a guitar. Drink up beer from the bar at the bar. And name my girl after Joey Ramone. It's a replacement in the car when I'm driving home. And rock and roll ain't dead. Rock and roll ain't dead. My rock and roll ain't dead. It's in my heart, it's in my head. In my heart, in my head. It's in my heart, it's in my head, in my head, in my head. Rock and roll ain't dead. Rock and roll ain't dead. Rockin' the Renegade, rockin' the Renegade now. Woo-hoo. It's on the internet radio. Yay, thanks, Cat Fiddle. Come on down here, you crazy little bunnies.
Rocket and the Renegades, Robin Magder and John Welton are joining us here at the Cat Fiddle. Thank you for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. You are everywhere on social media, correct? Facebook.
We're on it all. Well, yeah. Rocket the Renegades. Look us up on Facebook. We're on, we're on Facebook still.
You
Hello.
have your own website though.
We're on Instagram. No, we're on Instagram. But guess what? We can be bought at any price. Look us up, man. We're everywhere.
Thank you so much once again.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks,
Thank you.
Kimberly.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be right back. We're going to take a short break. This is Shake It Up. We are at Cat Fiddle. Join us in about 10 minutes' time when we